Okay, Scooter Tramps and Chopper Jockeys, it is just after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 9 o'clock. The O stands for, oh my God, Sturgis kicked my ass this year.
Right?
Wow.
Man, like, I didn't know that we could possibly pack any more. Oh, you jinxed me. Anyway, I didn't know we could possibly pack any more into our normal Sturgis, but damn,
Really?
did we ever.
Right?
That's all of
It
it.
was incredible. Like,
I think we could have done more.
I'm gonna stab you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Persichetti,
Yeah, so
my fellow rainbow chaser.
tonight,
Oh, boy.
man, sitting off to my left is Brother Mark in the house, and he's going to actually be serving the slash position tonight because not only is he our guest host for the evening, but first and foremost, we're going to talk about the fact that you and I, but I can't do an interview on me, so
Yeah, you can.
you're going to sit in for this. You and I have been invited as Flatbroke Chops and Rods to the Tennessee Music and Motorcycle Revival as builders.
Yeah, that's
Far out.
a new one for us, isn't it?
It is, right?
It's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to going. It's an event we don't have to do anything at but show up and
dude,
pretend like we're somebody.
it's
I
so
totally
good,
call
right?
BS. If any of you guys know Chris, I totally call BS.
Mark too. He's just as bad as me. Don't
Well,
He
I'm
is
not just
not.
as bad.
Oh, yeah.
He is
Please,
not-
don't put me in
he
that
would
position.
just be perfectly content sitting there watching the world go by,
I'll tell you.
eating a bag of poppers or whatever they're
Poppers.
called.
By the way, the garlic parmesan potato chips, they only made one bag, just to let you know. And we got them when we were at Jennerstown Speedway. So
Really, Mike Satoski, if you're watching this, we need garlic Parmesan
Dude,
potato
yeah, we need
chips
those
that you
in our
have
life.
in
Yeah,
your,
those
we
your
need.
vendor
yeah, those things are good.
vendor area.
So the bike that we're taking, let's talk about that for a minute because it's a big honor too for me to be invited to the Tennessee gig, Bill Dodge's
Yep.
BC Moto Invitational.
Anybody who's anybody will be there, pretty much.
But we're super lucky because we got to put together a killer motorcycle that just made its debut at Mr. Lichter's show in Sturgis.
Which was an honor in itself
Yeah.
to be there, do the photo shoot stuff with him. That's just cool as hell.
And all
So-
these photos that we're showing right now, these are courtesy of Michael Lichter Photography. That's one of the best things about getting invited to Michael's Motorcycles as art exhibit every year in Sturgis is the fact that you get an entire photo shoot from Michael Lichter, probably hands down the premier photographer
Oh,
of
yeah.
the history of motorcycles.
Most definitely. It's definitely an honor to work with him, no matter how you twist and turn. Again, as you look at the pictures, Ronnie Tonetti, North Hills, RT's North Hill Cycles, was a big part of this paint job. And God, what a great guy. Went
Dude,
out
but
of his way.
How about the process too? Let's talk
Yeah.
about the process. So to do this paint, Mark and I literally lived at Ronnie's shop for
Yeah.
pretty much 3 days,
Three
right?
straight days. Yeah, the dog still has insomnia. So poor Walter still hasn't slept real well. So
But man, it was great because like we haven't got to do something like that for so long.
oh
man.
yeah,
It was
and especially with Ronnie, somebody who's been a huge part of this industry for so long and never really gets the recognition that he should get, and just to be with him, he's such a great guy, such a good friend. So
Yes, sir. So, speaking of recognition, I do want to start off by saying that we're coming to you through the courtesy of the Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorney Studio. Shop Talk comes at you live, usually every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our Sturgis Rap Show. We were on the road for Sturgis, so we're actually moved it to Sunday. But next week we'll be coming back to our regular time. We want to thank everybody over at Russ Brown, as well as all of our sponsors that help us bring you this show each week. You can do your part because we're asking you not only to just be an observer when Shop Talk is on, you can enter your comments, your questions, your concerns the whole time the show is going on simply by hooking up the old social media chat. You'll see right there I'm bringing it up, and the comments are rolling in tonight, right?
Wow,
boy.
Carlos Amador, nicest sporty ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, thank you
nicest
so much.
guy. Carlos is awesome.
Carlos is,
Yeah,
right?
we'll
good,
keep
good dude.
Carlos.
Nice to finally meet him. You know,
and it's always good to spend time with him. Like
Yeah.
Carlos is genuinely one of those people that's just so happy to be there. And then, I mean, you know, when you know the story of his recent history,
oh
You
yeah,
know, and he's always willing to help and
Yep.
lend a hand, and he's always got a smile on his face.
yeah,
and
always.
I think some of us could kind of learn from Carlos.
Oh, yeah.
especially
Quite a
me
bit.
earlier
And
today.
I never really had any idea who Carlos was, and him and Dana contacting each other back and forth, doing a lot of social media together, like brought us together, kind of thing in all reality. And what a good time! What a super down to earth guy for all the stuff that he's gone through. It's pretty pretty awesome. His head's in the place that it's in. So
Yeah, he's a good guy. I want to back up just a little bit. You were talking about Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys.
Yep.
Do you know how much they sponsor? Like, did you
Oh
know
my
that they
God.
sponsored Motorcycles as Art?
Yeah.
And they're sponsoring the Golden Bolt, excuse me, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But they do so much for motorcycling, and I
They
know
really
they're
do.
motorcycle attorneys, but they truly love motorcycles and
Yeah,
the
the
people that
industry,
ride
yeah.
them. Like, they support so much of what we do. It's crazy.
And that's the thing too, man. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of this comes down to business. Look at your cord there. A lot of this comes down to business, but when you have people that are going so far out there, man, to make sure that the good things have the resources that they need, they have the things that they, you know, are going to make them more successful. That's awesome, man. We can't thank them enough for that. Because a lot of this stuff, quite frankly, it wouldn't go on with that kind of support, without that kind of support.
Jack asks, what's wrong with the other sporties they've built? Absolutely nothing. And he's incognito as Diane tonight.
Hey, you know, we're kind of getting a reputation for the Sportster thing, Mark.
yes, we are.
Huh?
That's okay. I'm good with that.
I am
I
too.
love my Sportster. So
I hope nobody else catches on to the idea that like that bike that we built for Lichter's deal this
Yeah.
year was a $900 '97 Sportster.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope nobody gets onto this because
Well, you just gave the secret away.
Oh, we
only
tell
me-
everybody anyway, but that's besides the point.
me and my closest 50,000 friends.
Right.
And on top of that fact, the versatility on him's off the charts. I mean,
Right.
to go to the Evo, I mean, you almost got to, as much as I hate to give him a pat on the back, Pat Patterson is the Sportster king in all reality, and to have the ability to work with him and then take the advantages that we have with knowing what we know about bikes and to make this move, it's a smart move. I mean, they're a great piece of machinery.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of fun to build them. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what you want to get back to. You know, I mean, I would love to build a $50,000 knucklehead with chopper, you know, and like, but that's just, you know,
If you can build a $50,000 knucklehead, I want a bigger house.
and that's exactly why I don't
there's-
build
I
a
was gonna say,
$50,000
there's the
knucklehead.
whole
right there,
problem.
right?
Well, and on
Right.
top of that fact, keep in mind, we're so blue collar working man that
Yep.
in all reality, all we want to do is give people the opportunity to be able to ride this cool shit too. So, you know what I
Right.
mean? We keep the price down. You keep it so people can get on it and ride something, give them a quality product so that they can ride. They don't break down every 5 minutes.
Yep.
You know, that's part of I guess the reason why we push that. So,
Plus, we just want to be free and ride our machines without getting hassled by the man.
another way for the man. Speaking of that,
What?
the man,
What about the man?
Oh.
Peter
Peter
Fonda.
Fonda.
I know. So listen, that's it. You know, Shop Talk every
What a
week.
segue, by the way.
90,
That was good.
Yeah,
A
90,
plus.
90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit that we can fit. And generally, except when Mark is here, we like to start it off with a little thing called the news. Okay, so Mark just ruined the headline, but there it is. Peter Fonda dies at 79 years old this week, just shortly after Easy Riders, the movie, celebrates 50 years. It loses one of the most iconic people, and I'll say this, and you know, right off the bat, I'm going to say that people are going to have arguments about this, because even through his career and his life and everything, they were talking about how, you know, Peter Fonda really didn't like motorcycles, really didn't ride. But I will wager this, and I'll put it out there to you, all you guys on social media, weigh in on this. There were two figures when I was a kid, and I would wager that motivated and inspired most people as kids: Evel Knievel and Peter Fonda, man. And I mean, like, whatever.
Well, let's throw three in there with a bike.
Yeah, the bike
I mean,
too. Both of those
yeah,
bikes.
yeah.
And Hopper, far
Yep.
out. But I'm just saying, like, you know, whatever his personal persona was, his
Yeah.
persona from that movie inspired a lot of
Oh,
us. Like,
most
how many
definitely.
Huffy motorcycles did
Oh,
you
dude.
jam forks together to make a little chopper?
And almost kill ourselves. on
right?
it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, my mother can blame him for all the dumb shit I did growing up. So,
Peter Fonda or Chris?
but well, no, not
Hey.
Chris. 'Cause Chris wasn't there yet. It was later in life that she can blame Chris.
Oh, okay.
So,
So real quick, Ron Tenetti is actually in the house.
Hey,
so in
what's
case
up,
he
Ron?
wasn't here again. Thank you. It was such a pleasure for me to meet you, and thank you for helping these guys lay down an amazing paint job.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
if I haven't told Chris enough, that color purple is perfect.
well,
is Walter okay? That's all we're worried about is Walter. Did Walter bounce back yet? So
Dude, there was a couple nights that dog was looking at us like, what in the hell is wrong with you guys? Why are you here? Why is Daddy still up? Why are we not having snacks and TV?
you can't smoke in front of that dog because he has a meltdown. We think possibly he's George Burns reincarnated. So just in case you guys want to talk to George Burns, go to North Hill Cycles. Ronnie will introduce you to him.
All right, so real quick, Brenda and Jack DeGazio are on here. Beautiful digger they built for Motorcycles Art, which will be featured in an upcoming issue of Cycle Source. But he's building a mini bike for our next set of mini bike races.
Right on.
Because he has to win.
Those mini bike races are off the charts.
Hey, so 1 second here. I just want to talk about some of the comments coming in. Carlos Amador says his movie gave hopes, and we're talking about Peter Fonda. His movie gave hopes and dreams of riding something cool and not stock. Nick Hillebride comes back and says, no love for that movie. Terrible end. Love chops. It was a terrible ending, but, of the time, that was kind of the point, man. Like, chopper guys freaked the straights out. And, some of the redneck hillbilly guys had a pretty serious distaste for us.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and that was how it was back in that day. I mean, things have changed, and, we were just having that conversation right before we went live. It's a whole different world nowadays, but to look back and maybe that was the way we expressed, pushed ourselves was by making people question what the hell we were doing.
Well, and a lot of, I'm not going to get into the whole political side of this, but like a lot of the German insignias and, the kissing each other on the face and mouth and stuff like that was, that whole thing was just to freak out the straights because people chopper guys didn't care what people thought of them, and they actually just wanted you to stay the hell away from them. So, different time.
We still sort of want them. Oh, no, that's just me.
But
I want you
kissing me on the face for that.
I will backslap you in a heartbeat.
Tim Kearns wants to know how the Sprinter cluster ended up. Well, we made it home at about 5 o'clock this morning.
One update that we didn't give everybody was I crawled underneath the Sprinter. One guy was telling us about not the flux capacitor guy, not the windshield washer fluid or turn signal fluid guy.
Muffler bearing guy? No.
The muffler bearing guy?
Yeah, he was.
You guys are
Some
a bunch
guys
of
were
pricks.
just so helpful.
We're broke down 1,400 miles from home, and people are busting our balls.
Hey,
that
I
was
didn't
awesome.
even answer the phone, so at least people sent you comments.
But one guy did. I forget what he actually said. There was a reset button for a
fuel
shift something or other. Well, I went looking for that. What I did find was the entire bell housing is soaked with fluid, and we pressed on. I went nice and slow and easy. It took me 2 days to get home from Sturgis, which doesn't normally.
No.
And
which, by the way, that gave me 1 day off, just to let you know. So.
But we did make it home, so thank you for everybody's concern and input, even the flux capacitor guys. And
now the search begins for what the hell is up with our Sprinter.
I still think based on like the countless Googling I did, it's the torque converter.
Yeah.
I should say
the guy from Daniels with the disc in the transmission thing, to me, that
it's going to be something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not disagreeing. Torque converter is that shift in and out. I'm with you the whole way, but I'm questioning maybe if you pull that thing out. Low on fluid was your issue, was the symptom you were catching. So,
in any event, one of the things that we should announce here on the show, our Bonneville family, who's waiting for us to roll in for the motorcycle speed trials, because we were
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because we were having problems with the Sprinter, and I couldn't see myself taking the Sprinter with a camper on it up over the Rocky Mountains while there was a question of whether or not the transmission was going to take a shit. We actually put Bonneville off, so it sucks. We'll see you next year. Terrible.
Yeah, I was almost looking forward to going there this year too, but
Yep.
It's all right. You guys faked the truck breakdown, so I couldn't go. I get it.
It's because it's all about you. It's all about you, man. It's all about you.
Yeah, well, I wish everybody had realized that finally. It's a tough life.
Tim Kern says skip the $50,000 chop and get a new Sprinter, and that's actually a good idea. I don't have the money for the $50,000 chop or the new Sprinter.
No questions asked. We'll skip the $50,000 Sprinter anyway, or chopper anyway. So
yeah, our choppers. Did you catch the name of the choppers?
Yeah,
flat broke chops and rods.
There's a reason for that.
Yep, because we're broke.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else? We're supposed to be going through news. We got about 6 minutes till we got our first guest on. Second up in the news tonight, the city of Sturgis. Now, here's a story that, boy, They waited for quite a long time, the city of Sturgis did, to announce the actual start date for the 2020 rally. Since this is our Sturgis post show, we're going to start talking about next year, obviously. But what would traditionally fall as the first week in August would mean Sturgis would start on July 31st next year. The city of Sturgis and officials decided that they were going to push it to August 7th through the 16th to give it. I don't know what the rearrangement idea was, but
I don't
man,
know.
I
And
know
a lot of people are ticked off, and
Yeah.
I actually, you know what, that kind of screws with our deadline too. So we have to rearrange
now
even our print deadline.
one of the things that you have to understand here is a lot of these places like the big venues, Buffalo Chip and Full Throttle, what have you, they book bands as they're working across the country in tours. So they already booked some of these dates.
Yeah.
So that they could get in early and get stuff taken care of. And
Yeah.
I mean, now, man, like
And
I
you
can't
have to
even
figure
imagine.
a lot of people don't know the background, the logistics that go into a lot of this
Right.
stuff, and a day's
Well,
huge in some senses.
Yeah, and a lot of the venues, they're really, really concerned about it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we did talk to one venue owner before we left Sturgis, and he just is going to be open an extra week. So, I hope it works out for everybody. But remember, August 7th next year is when the rally officially starts.
Hey, this is a good question in from Nick from YouTube. Is Sturgis worth it, and why?
Yes.
And I'm not even going to pipe off on that one first. I'm going to let you guys go at it.
Well,
You
you really want me to answer that?
I do.
Mark, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think so for numerous reasons. It's one of the few big rallies left in the country where there is countless true motorcycle activities all day, every day, everywhere. You can find every kind of bike show you want at any venue, pretty much. Every type of racing you could possibly look for, except maybe MotoGP, but there's vintage racing, there's flat track, there's hill climbs.
There was Top Fuel drag
there's
racing
Top
this
Fuel
year.
drag
There was
racing.
Mini
Run
bike
What-
races.
There's
Mini
mini
bike.
bike races.
Run What You Brung. There
Run
was
What You
hooligan
Brung.
hooligan hill climbs, hooligan
Yeah.
flat track.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't even take into consideration the Jack Pine Gypsy races. They have every day on their schedule, they have different races. And there's 20th Century Racing and the Spirit of Sturgis. So
The
there's
Sons of Speed.
The Sons of Speed. Countless motorcycle-centric events. And then the riding is uncomparable.
Yeah.
I mean, the riding out in that part of the country is just beautiful.
And I'm sure the city of Sturgis doesn't want us to say something like this, but if you went there, climbed the ladder in the middle of the city, took that classic picture of Sturgis Main Street,
Yeah.
and that was the only time you were on Main Street,
Yeah.
and you didn't take in, let's not talk about the Buffalo Chip concert lineup, the Full Throttle, the Iron Horse, the
list of
you
things
can't
to do
even
is-
see some of these concerts all together in 1 week.
Right.
But
Oh,
if
yeah.
you didn't do any of that, if you were only going there for riding, that's the whole reason Sturgis is absolutely.
And for me,
yeah.
I mean, we've been going there a lot of years. We've been to Sturgis a bunch of times, and like you say, you get worn out on it. Sturgis is something you don't get worn out on. For me, solely because of the riding, solely because, and I'm not a big rider. I have vision problems. That's one of the only very few places in the country that I'm comfortable riding. It's open. You can see forever, and while you're riding, it's a comfortable place to
Yeah.
ride. It's as long as you're not question riding in the city, or in actual Sturgis. But like Heather said, the things to do. Put it this way: if you're a true motorcycle enthusiast, it's got to be on your bucket list. It has to be.
That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah.
It's an absolute bucket list
Just-
item. It really is.
And on top of that, I think on the latter note of everything, to see the people there.
Yeah.
If you're a people watcher, dude, you got to go.
Well, and let's talk about
gotta
this.
go.
Let's talk about this part of the people, not even the people watching, because the freaks come out in Sturgis.
oh,
They
yeah.
absolutely do. But if you go there more than one time, if you're there the second year, the chances that you're going to have people that there waiting to see you,
Right.
for Sturgis for us after, Christ, we've been doing Sturgis almost 20
Forever.
years now.
Yeah.
The Sturgis after 20 years, it's a family reunion.
It
You know
most
what I mean?
certainly
Like
is.
it's you can't wait to get to Sturgis because
Yep.
there's a certain percentage of people that's the only time we're going to see them.
absolutely.
you
And I
know?
love it. I love Sturgis. I love the part of the country it's in. The
Oh, me too.
weather's
That's-
typically great.
And if it does rain, it rains so horribly for 2 seconds, and then you're over it.
Right.
Wait! I got to tell you this. Ron Tonetti just pipes in with so. Plan on starting a paint job 7:30:20. Question?
So and I don't know if you guys have made this known or not, but
Oh, Jesus.
my husband is crazy. I mean, actually everybody knows that. That's just a
Yes.
statement. But he and Mark built Bone Daddy start to finish, including the paint job, in 20 days.
And had a major frame issue that we had to
Yeah.
redo.
So-
Thank you, Joe.
and- yeah.
Broseph,
Yeah,
you
you
are
saved
the
the
man,
day.
hands
Broseph,
down.
But-
right on.
And I don't mean to put them up on a pedestal or anything, but just like the
Oh,
lengths they
go
go
ahead.
through, the lengths they go through for Mr. Michael Lichter, and just because they love what they do. So that was 20 days with an issue of the magazine and 2 events in there.
And the people that we affect, I mean, like Ronnie, the joke of, start early, I mean, he knows, if anybody knows what it comes down to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He's been a power builder. I mean, hands down, if you don't know this guy, look up his history.
Yeah, look
at some of his
RT's
stuff.
North Hill
I mean,
Cycles.
hands down, to me, he's in my top favorite painters and builders in the country. He has been. He's a dear friend, and he gave up part of his life for 3 days. I mean, like I said, we're
Wow.
kidding around with Walter, but that's no joke. We spent 3 solid days in his paint booth. Our paint booth was down. He never even hesitated when I called and said, "Hey, Ron, can we come over there?" And he just opened his doors. I mean, love him to death. He's one of the greatest people I know. So the joke is, yeah, well, you know something, Ronnie, we might wait one more day. Let's
Yeah.
go to the 31st. Let's push this issue this year. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but I got to say this too, man, while we're talking about how amazing it was that we did that in 20 days. It's not without like Kurt Green,
Yep.
Bare Bones Leather, our seat guy, who was super quick. A lot of people don't know this, but Paco in 0 hour, there was no way I was going to get chrome done. And Paco, is a big
Yeah.
favor to me, helped me like super fast get chrome
And just
done.
for the record, they do not do chrome.
No, they
don't
do- they do
don't
not
just
do
randomly
chrome.
send your
It
chrome
was-
or call for chrome.
It's only because they had pity for my stupid ass waiting for
Steve
so long.
may kill you. I can see it
Yeah.
now. Hey, Steve, can you do our chrome?
Well,
No.
the funny part about it, though, is like you said, we did it in 20 days. And Chris is saying we didn't do it. There's so many people that help us, and you
Yeah.
can't find all of them, and or like can't even come up with all the names right now to thank
Oh,
everybody.
Matt,
But
Matt Reel,
yeah.
Pat
Taylor,
Patterson
Pat
for
Patterson.
some parts. Taylor, Taylor Schmidt.
again, Joe Broseph. I mean, that kid went out of his way. He literally put his own boss on hold
Yeah.
to make sure that we got what we needed. I mean, you got to give Lead Sled all the credit for.
Yep.
I mean, we do a lot of stuff with them.
Let's
and
give
they're
him half
great
the
people.
credit.
Well, we'll give Joe all the credit.
We'll give
Pat
Joe all
half
the credit.
So, how about let's give Pat the credit just for having Joe there? So,
Yeah. Like,
All right, so we're gonna take a break from the news real quick. Oh, Kurt Green's on. Bike came out sick for what little tiny time you all had. Thank you so much, dude. First guest up tonight. You guys may be familiar. A lot of our bike builds, we've used the Voodoo Vintage
Yeah.
front end, the curved leaf spring front end.
awesome part.
Year or so ago, I guess it was, David Roy from that company started talking about maybe selling Voodoo Vintage. He was looking to retire. The new owners, we just spent time with them at Pandemonium's XS 650 Fest, and said, "Hey man, let's get you on the show real quick and introduce you to everybody at one time." So we're gonna go to the phones real quick and bring them on and let you guys meet the new owners of Voodoo Vintage.
Hello.
Mike, how you doing? You're live with ShopTalk.
Hey, how are you, Chris?
Good, man. So I was just in the intro here telling everybody that you're the new man. You're Voodoo Vintage now, Mike Coffey.
Yes. So far, it has been quite an experience.
Right.
I'm sure.
Well, let's talk first a little bit about your history. Where do you come from? How did this all come about?
Well, kind of just a love for motorcycles, and just always been around them since I was a kid, and just absolutely loved them. But I had worked for the railroad for the last 17 years or so, and I was out on an injury and just kind of decided not to go back. And I wound up contacting Dave, at Voodoo Vintage, and we kind of hit it off a little bit, talking back and forth, and I think he just felt right that hi.
So, when did you formally take over Vintage, and what was the ramp up like? Like, was it just like, here you go, there's everything, and good luck, or how did it go down?
I think about December 12th, I believe, was my first official day, and that was actually driving back up from Texas with the shop and truck and trailer.
Right on.
Yeah, most of it. The plasma table, grinders, tooling, benches, stuff like that. So when I got back, it was cold. Great time to move, of course, being since we're up here in Illinois now. So yeah, I took over. I went back and forth with David for I think about a month and a half, just kind of how we're going to do things in the transition, and if we want to kind of keep it on the down low right away or just let it work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back up with all the shop and stuff December 12th, and I spent 5 days prior to that. My dad actually went down with me, and I spent actually about 5 days working with Dave in the shop.
Yeah.
Crash course in hardtails and in the business. So
I guess
Yeah.
that had to be fairly intimidating, going down there, grabbing that whole shop, and coming up here with everything. I mean, that's a pretty bold move. I give you a lot of credit for for making that move. It'd be a little scary to me.
I kind of have a habit of just jumping in head first.
Oh, so do we. We do a lot of dumb shit. That's why I know it's got to be intimidating. But kudos for taking the shot. It's awesome that you grabbed that and ran with it.
Yeah, I literally had 5 days, and we pretty much focused on the MK52, the Ironhead Sportster. A lot of sales on that, and David told me, he said, get used to this. You're going to be building a lot of these.
Now that's something to let people know and in on the scope of things here. Like, David had a pretty good library of parts. I mean, like he did hardtails for a lot of different motorcycles, man, and the front ends and everything else. Like, what are you talking about as far as like a catalog of Voodoo Vintage existing parts that you're getting up to speed on?
18 different model hardtails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of parts.
So that's 18 different jigs, 18 different part numbers to track, things to, that's a lot of stuff.
So you didn't get a U-Haul to go down there. You actually had to go down there with a pretty good sized trailer. You brought a lot of stuff back with you.
I grabbed a 25-foot trailer, and I bought a 3/4 or a 35 1-ton Dodge Dually truck.
Yeah.
And I got everything but the mill. I had to ship the mill up.
Now, one of your big customers is Lowbrow. A lot of people get the Voodoo Vintage stuff through Lowbrow, and how has that relationship been in transition? Going from them dealing with David to has it been pretty smooth with you?
Yeah, those guys are great. Tony Riker over there, he's been good. Tyler's been good. Pretty much, I just give him a call and talk to him, and we've kind of like sorted out the shipping, and because we drop ship, and we just sorted out the shipping and basically the products and shipping times. We've made some adjustment on that. It was 6 to 8 weeks because it was really far behind when I first took over.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't even know how to do the front ends. Like, I had orders, and I'm like losing sleep because I'm like, how am I going to get these orders filled, man?
Yeah. There's the intimidation factor right there.
But on the other hand, what a great problem to have is buy this company that's got such a good reputation that it comes with orders in queue already.
Yeah.
It's not like you're starting from scratch and you're launching a brand new product hoping people are going to buy it.
Yeah, probably the most intimidating fact that is keeping up with the business.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
If you're having an issue.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's amazing
absolutely was.
how the it worked out.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And, I'm losing sleep at night because I'm like, these are front ends. You can't just wing these and hope they work.
Yeah, right.
You certainly cannot.
No, you cannot. And I had talked with David, and he told me focus on the hardtails, and he came back up I think I was 5 months into it, and we had a lot of talks about the relics over the phone and the velocities and emails back and forth. And he actually came back up 5 months into it, spent an entire week with me here at my house, and went through them with me in detail.
That's awesome. So Jack DeGazio posted a comment here. He said he just bought a shovelhead weld-on hardtail from you, and it's top-notch work. So in case you don't get that feedback from your customers, there's a little bit for you right there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been working very hard to make sure that when a product goes out the door, it's good.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I always love the Voodoo Vintage stuff. I mean, like I said, me and Mark have used that on
I love
several
that front
builds.
end.
Yeah, the
One of my
velocity
favorite.
front end has absolutely been one of our favorites. But also, man, we got to talk about, the other two front end styles. You're going to continue both with the relic and the vintage. The vintage front end, are you keeping that on too? The vintage style Springer.
Yeah,
Right
that
on.
one's on. Yeah, that one's on too. Springers are springers, so it's I really don't get a whole lot on those, but I do get a lot for the velocity and the relic. Absolutely.
Right on. Well, we got your website up now, but where can people keep track of you or what you're doing and keep up on Voodoo?
On Instagram at Voodoo Vintage, VUDU Vintage. I guess spelling it the long way was out. So yeah, Voodoo Vintage on Instagram, Facebook, and my website also at voodoovintage.com.
Right on.
I did post a link to that website in the comments section if people want to go check that out and order that front end or hardtail from him. It's right there. And actually, Jack said he got his hardtail from you in 10 days. So
Yep.
that's pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, I have been. What had happened is I'd had the shipping dates actually at 6 to 8 weeks. Nobody wants to wait that long.
No,
Yeah.
that's a long
And
way.
it is a long time, and we want instant gratification. You order it, you want it. Amazon has ruined us all.
Yes, it
my
has.
God,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, people have to remember this is a hand-built item to order.
Which is awesome.
Do you
because you're
have
paying for the
people
quality.
working with you? Do you do this all on your own?
I'm doing this all on my own. My wife pitches in. I'll give her a cut list, and she'll run that saw and that DOM. And
No kidding.
That's awesome.
on.
Good for her.
That should
Yes.
fit in right here.
I was just gonna say you better give a shout out to her, man,
Yeah.
because after meeting you guys, I can tell that you got an operation like me and Heather do.
this wouldn't happen without her.
Yeah.
None of this would happen
Yeah,
without
well,
her.
I'll tell you, I question sometimes how Heather puts up with Chris and how Dana puts up with me, because if they didn't stick behind us close, they're going to get run over. I can tell you that.
Especially
buddy.
when you consider that we don't drink.
Yeah, right. This is alcohol drug free, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really is. Like, we are an alcohol drug free environment I can count on 2 hands the number of drinks I have in a
Yeah.
year, which is shocking,
We don't have time to drink,
right?
for Christ's sake.
yeah. I am completely. I've been sober 10 years now. Not a drop.
Right on.
Drug free, alcohol free, tobacco free.
You get so much more done, right? I mean, that's what I find.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And my wife is actually her full-time job. She is a drug and alcohol
Oh,
therapist.
well, there you go. You're covered then.
Yeah. So that support is great. But she is a social drinker. But really, she hardly ever drinks. I think she tried a sip of moonshine at the 650 Fest.
Right on.
That's where it all starts,
Yeah.
Yep. Well, cool, man. Listen, there's tons of social media comments. People are digging on the front ends and the stuff that we're putting up there, and they're loving your story. So I can tell you guys there will definitely be more coming from this. We're going to, we always did a bunch of stuff with Voodoo before. After meeting you guys, I'm hoping that we continue all that. So look for that stuff in the magazine. And where are you going to be next? What's your next event people can meet you?
I am not even sure actually right now. I'm about 9 months into this, and I think I've left the house about 4 times for events.
Oh, it's going to get way worse then.
Oh, dude, and I know, like we were talking about events and stuff when we stopped at Daniel's place, and she immediately said, I don't need him doing anything but making parts. Make
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah,
I
right.
need you making parts. Like she
Just
was.
make those parts. That's
Yeah,
it.
she was on it.
Well, the funny part about it, those events are what brings you to the people. They're so much a part of the business in the long run. You know, I
Man,
mean, that would be a big part of you moving into actual interaction with the customer
No.
thing, too. So,
I did enjoy myself this weekend at the 650 Fest at Pandemonium Shop. And, you know, of course, Hugh from Hugh's Hand Built was there, and Austin from Austin Martin Originals, and Dan and Carrie and the crew. And,
Good
man,
people. Yep.
Yeah. And I really, those folks have been instrumental in helping me through it. Hugh had started it. I developed a relationship with Hugh, and he just kind of let me into his very small little circle of friends.
yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, buddy.
One of-
He's
one
a
of my favorite.
Good human being. I'm actually bribing him to get him to come to Cherokee, just so you know.
You don't have to bribe him much.
No, I do. Seriously, he loves being at home with his family
Yes,
so
he
much
does.
and doing his thing with Hughes Hand Built. You know, it's hard to get him to come out to
Yeah.
events. So yes, I'm bribing him.
It is. And I actually contacted Courtney, and I just asked her, I said, will you please pack a bag for Hugh, give it to him, and send him out the door?
Yeah.
He's a good man. Good man.
Well, cool.
He's a beautiful person. I just love that fella.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. You guys can check them out, voodoovintage.com. That is actually spelled out in the traditional sense.
Yes.
Check them out on social media. If you get to see them out at an event, and look for some tech and product stuff coming up in the magazine over the next year. Good people. We're so glad we hooked up with you guys, and we wish you all the best with this venture.
Great. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me a call, and, look out. We're planning on new products and just getting out there and being with people eventually once I kind of get myself leveled out here. So,
Right on, man.
yeah,
Well, anything
yeah.
we can do, you let us know.
Yes, I appreciate it, and I definitely look forward to working with you in the future.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Coffey.
Take care, Mike.
All right, thank you, Heather and Chris. Bye-bye now.
Good dude.
Right on. Carlos wants him to come to the handmade lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the handmade lot
I know,
yet.
There's so much.
That
from
was
Sturgis
a
we didn't talk
Sturgis-
about.
Yeah.
That was a Sturgis
This was
victory
supposed to
right
be
there.
the Sturgis wrap-up thing,
Yeah.
and we've talked about Sturgis for like 3 seconds, which is all right, I guess,
We gave him the big plug.
Yeah, we did. Well, speaking of Sturgis and big plugs, somebody got to go up and stand on the podium with the
Oh, dude.
with the big guy in Sturgis and be a rock star for a minute.
I
How was that?
know.
Dude, you know what? I got a video right here while we're
Great.
talking about it.
Hold on, we got to keep your head in the screen. So
You know where we're at, man? We're on Main Street in Sturgis.
So, what Mark's actually talking about was during the rally, I got to go up with the mayor and the city people and actually help unveil the official logo for the 80th anniversary Sturgis next year.
And if there's anything you don't know about Chris, I mean, obviously you've seen the magazine, you've met him. You could be with him and he could be in the worst mood, or he could be sick, or he could hand him a microphone and he'll kill it. I mean, truly, he'll kill it. He's like one of the best MCs on the planet, hands down. So, great PR guy.
I do agree. And like the words he said, I don't know where he.
Oh, me
where
neither.
they
I said the
came
same
from,
thing.
But he inspired everybody that was there.
And I'll tell you, the hard thing was the giveaway bike at the Buffalo Chip this year. If nobody knows anything about it, normally we go up on stage and he goes on and on with the giveaway with thousands of people in front of you. Well, they had some issues with the races and removing the hay bales, and we literally presented that bike in front of like 9 people. It was like nobody there.
Well, the other tens of thousands were
Yeah,
there just behind the hay
They
bales.
were like 100 miles away, but he kept it the whole time. He kept it like
Oh yeah.
everybody was right there. I was like, that's it. We're out of here. Well, we can leave now.
You know what, man? And honestly, I got to tell you, like, seriously, the person I got to give that up to is Jay Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Allen taught me that, like, none of this shit matters more than that one person that's
That's it.
been
One
saving
guy
for
knows.
10 years to be there. You
So
know?
he really did say some great stuff. If you actually want to watch the video, I do think I have it posted on our Facebook page.
Just listen to him go. I'm gonna throat punch him.
But that was cool. That was a big honor, man. I mean, for a kid who always wanted, like, to ever be in Sturgis and have it be, like I finally made it to Sturgis, and to actually be a part of the annual unveiling of the logo.
Yeah.
It was huge. It
And
was
keep
huge.
in mind that the Sturgis thing, they came back from a breakfast. The whole ride was ready to go.
Yeah.
They had to
so
leave.
our run to the line was ready to go.
There's 50 people standing there waiting to go on a ride.
And
He's
we're
like,
coming
okay,
back-
gotta go.
We're coming back from the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
breakfast. So
Yeah.
I literally had to be there. I was at Ron Paw's table. That was another big thing at
Yeah.
Sturgis. Ron Paw getting into the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
Yeah.
Danny from
Danny
Zippers.
Fitzmaurice from
Zippers,
Zippers, yeah.
And
That's another
huge,
great.
just huge.
So we got a message after he unveiled the Twisted Tea bike on Sunday night from some people in the city and affiliated with the logo, and they're like, "Hey, Chris did a really good job unveiling that. The mayor wants him to come unveil the logo," and I'm like, "Are you kidding?"
Is this
Yeah.
is this a joke?
So-
yeah, right. Am I being punked?
And like, it was
Ashton
such an
Kutcher
honor.
was there.
Right. It was such an honor to be able to be a part of that, but like we literally had to change our entire schedule for that
But it
moment.
was
It
great.
was so worth it. Though.
But that's what I'm saying. Sturgis is like that for everything. I mean, like I said, we were talking about the handmade lot. We go from the Iron Horse and the Broken Spoke on stage doing the grease and gear stuff to back and forth to the handmade lot, going to the Buffalo Chip, running to the Sportster Showdown,
Showdown.
heading up and making sure that we see Steve Broyles and do his bike show.
Yep.
It's nonstop. We wake up at 7 a.m. and we run like idiots all day long.
Pass out at 2.
And when it's all over, it's so worth it. You look back at the things that you got to do, and like people never get to do that in their life. I mean,
Yeah.
you're so tired and you're so irritated. When you come home, you reflect back on it. You're so honored to be able to be a part of all that. So, and I'm a homebody. I'm a person that doesn't like to leave home.
And somebody, I posted a thing, like my traditional picture at the end of Sturgis every year is I put all my passes for the week down on a table and I take a picture. And somebody said something about, all the bling you get to bring home from Sturgis. And I'm like, dude, someday I'm going to be an 80-year-old man,
Yep.
and I'm not going to have maybe 90. It won't happen till I'm 90. But I won't have the wherewithal to even leave the room that
Right.
I'm in, let alone the state that I live in. I'll be able to look at every one of those passes
And remember.
and remember the time that we did this, the place that we were for
Oh,
that, the people we were with then, and I'll have those memories, man. Like I wouldn't trade that shit for any amount of money or
No, that's what
or
I'm saying.
bullshit.
Like people complain about, oh, it was this or that, or I mean, obviously there was a lot of people getting pulled over. The cops are real strict. I mean, you almost have to be this day. You can almost understand, maybe lighten up a little bit, but
Francis.
lighten up, Francis. But to reflect back on the stuff that you get the opportunity to do, to be a part of Grease and Gears, to be able to go up on that stage at Buffalo Chip, backstage in front of whatever band it is that year, because at that point, it almost doesn't matter what band it is. You're there
For the people.
Right.
yeah, you're there for everybody
Yeah.
out in that audience, and it's a huge honor that a lot of times we take for granted. I'm usually a fairly miserable person, and I hate every minute of a lot of the stuff that we do. But to go up there and be able to present that bike and
Right.
show people that what we do is such an honor. You
Yeah.
don't get to thank everybody like you should.
No.
Well, and
So-
that's a big way for us every year, especially to thank Billy from Twisted Tea.
Oh, yeah.
And the people from Boston Brewing and
Ooh,
Samuel
how that
Adams.
guy
Yeah.
stays alive,
Oh,
I have
man.
not a clue.
You know,
He's
He's
incredible.
a robot. I'm telling you right now, the guy's a robot.
And I think at the end of it, we are extra lucky because we are given those opportunities
Yeah.
that many are not. But at the end, for anybody that chooses to go to Sturgis, it really is what you make of it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, most
as long
definitely.
as you take advantage of those opportunities presented to you, and I don't want this to sound like a shameless plug, but there's so many events that you can go to that don't cost you any extra money, and take advantage of those. Look at the schedule.
little
boards.
ones,
Look
too.
At, like ours, our mini bike races. They don't cost you anything. Our bike games, they don't cost you anything.
And not to pat ourselves on the back, those mini bike races
Oh,
may have
man.
been the hit
Yeah,
of,
right.
of Sturgis,
Right.
hands
Yep.
down. That was just, they're so much fun, and the people come there, and they're all friends. They're super competitive. I mean, like,
Or they're friends when they leave. If
right,
they're not
exactly.
when they get there.
Yeah.
There was actually people in the bar, and it's a new event there, and there wasn't a lot of people there. There was actually people in the bar coming out and
Yeah.
getting involved
Oh,
in the
yeah.
races. And like everybody, we're talking some of the biggest builders in the world, just accepting these people.
Yep.
Like
Michael Lichter.
Yep.
Michael
Dude,
how about
Chris
that?
almost killed Michael
Mini
Lichter, by the
How
way.
about that? Oh, I have to apologize about
You
that.
almost killed Michael. I
had-
almost cried.
I had no idea they promised Michael that we were going to go light.
Yeah.
You know, so
He was getting it.
in the middle of the handmade lot, we had on the night of the Black Hills Boogie show, which was
Awesome.
off the hook.
Yeah,
It was a
fantastic.
pre-'80s chopper show. First time there, first time at the handmade lot, first time handmade lot was at the Steel Pony. But that night we decided to pull out the mini bikes and let everybody race. And at the end of all the races, I think it was the Flying Hawaiian
Yep.
that actually said, "Yeah, we should have a celebrity race."
Yeah.
So a bunch of us get on there. They're calling us out by name. Not that we thought we were celebrities, but the one celebrity that was absolutely there was Michael Lichter, and Noah talked Michael into getting into that race. But
the whole
Not
crowd
knowing-
chanted his name.
Yeah, not knowing the whole time Chris was trying to kill him.
no. But Noah told him that we were going to take it easy.
Yeah, it was gonna be an easy
We don't
race.
do anything.
Michael
easy,
needs
dude.
to know
Like,
better than that.
Somebody's
Michael
going to get hurt.
Michael knows y'all better
Yeah.
than that. He should
Yeah,
have known.
most
But, man,
definitely.
and
But,
then he
dude, the
put up
smile
a
on his
post.
face?
Yeah, he put
Yeah.
up a post.
Oh, he had so much fun.
And it was the first time in, I'm sorry, Michael, according to your post, 54 years that you had been on a mini bike. And we got him out there, and he had a blast.
Oh, yeah. Everybody
And-
has just being a spectator, you have a blast.
But even like not even there, but even the mini bike drag races
Yep.
in town at the Iron
They were
Horse
pretty off the charts too.
and the bike games, like man, when you see that stuff, participate. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're really all about. Is we want you, like. We don't want your money. We want you to go
Be a
home with
part
the
of it.
memories.
That's
We
it.
want you to
How about
participate.
GT 5000?
Oh yeah,
Taking the money and the belt,
Gary, like
right?
it's here's a guy here that comes out of the smoking mirrors in the background and comes and just wrecks
He
everything.
killed it.
Yeah, buddy.
Great old
And his-
friend. It was super nice to hang out with Gary again.
His post at the end was priceless, man. You know, he was just so happy. It was the
Yeah.
coolest trophy I ever won, and he did a picture with each of the $100
And
bills he
had
won
that-
from each of the classes.
That leather belt from Kurt Green,
Yep.
which hands down by far my favorite belt Kurt has ever
Yeah, it was
done.
real nice. And if
was
anybody
cool.
doesn't know Gary, he's a friend of Lead Sled for years, a friend of mine for years, and had an accident or two back there, and so happy he recovered in a major way. Shows up with an old dresser, an old FLH
Yeah,
that he
just-
brought down to a soft tail, and just, I mean, obviously he knows how to handle that bike because
Oh my god,
and killed
flawless.
He did
killed
such
him
a
in the
good
bike
job.
game.
Flawless.
Yeah, couldn't have been happier for him.
So yeah, is Sturgis worth it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if
Absolutely.
nothing else, just come out to check out the handbuilt lot and watch
Yeah.
that mini bike races, because I'll tell you, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
it's worth it if you take advantage of the opportunities.
And just the handbuilt lot. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that for a second.
Handmade. So if
Sorry,
you
handmade, sorry.
if you guys are not aware of
Yeah.
what we're talking about, we had about 2 weeks to get ready a new property, a new experience. We called it the Handmade Lot. Me and Mark, Bill Dodge got together, invited a bunch of our friends. Some of them made it, some of them didn't for this first one. But it was a place where we could put a flag down for custom motorcycling. You know, where custom builders, leather workers, painters, where at the rally you can go and see those guys, and it's all pretty much blue collar, like
yeah.
hardworking guys, small manufacturers, and
And it's all the guys that build. It's like
Yep.
you don't go there and just talk to a guy that works for them.
No.
I mean, we all
Yeah.
stand there. If we got time from Greasing Gears, Flat Broke Trailer, Dana was there the majority of the week, and me and Chris and Heather were in and out as much as possible. Bill Dodge, Primo Helmets, they were there
Roaring
the whole
Helmet
time.
Division.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
living dirty.
Yeah, it was
Kids
just
from that, the guys from
No
those
School
Providence Cycle
Choppers. Yeah,
Works.
Providence was there, and,
Yeah.
and everybody was there. And it wasn't a real popular spot this year. It's new. It's starting to go, but it's going to take off. It's going to take off. Something
We only
big.
had 2 weeks.
Yeah, no
and,
time.
And as soon as we got the news out about the Black Hills Boogie Show,
Oh, yeah.
it was off the hook.
Yeah, it
like
was.
everyone knew it was there then. So we're already making plans for Daytona.
Yep.
We have a couple properties to choose from in Daytona, and
Yeah,
and the
don't
list
miss
is
it.
getting bigger
Yeah.
by
Right.
the day, I think, as far as people who
Yeah.
are participating.
Yeah.
If you're a builder, if you're a craftsman like Kurt Green, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
Yeah.
Kurt, we have a spot for you.
But-
the greatest thing is that I just want to add this one thing. The Steel Pony and the people at the Iron Horse,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they went out
they
their way.
gave us that space. So all of these small
And a flathead
homegrown
V8.
builders, and all these small homegrown builders could have a place to show their stuff. They
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about that, $500 per linear
that's
foot
it too,
vendor fee,
yeah.
because we like the
man,
little
you-
guy can't do that. You cannot withstand that. So kudos to Carrie and all his people, Carrie and Scott from
And
Steel Pony and Iron
honestly,
Horse.
you can't say enough about that, because for 4 years now, they've put out to make sure that Grease and Gears Garage has
Yeah.
a home at the Broken Spoke, that we're bringing programming to show people how to do things with your motorcycle, whether it's full out customization, fabrication, all the way down to service stuff. They've given us a home for that. And in this thing, they've gone out again and made
Yeah.
sure that those small builders and small manufacturers are going to have a place that
Yeah,
they
and they're-
can afford to be in Sturgis and participate, man.
and they're going to continue to help us with that. So I
And
just,
the funny parts you mentioned, small builders, as small as these places are, it's a huge impact. I mean, this is the ability for, instead of you going and spending, we were kidding around about the $50,000 chopper, between Grease and Gears and that lot there, you don't have to do the $50,000 chopper. We can sell you the parts. We can show you. We'll walk you through a lot of the stuff it takes.
Yeah.
Not only is this a place for you to buy your parts, but it's a place to get advice and make friends. And it's super comfortable. It's wide open.
And race
it's
mini bikes.
Yeah, and you can race mini bikes. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to try and kill Michael Lichter like Chris did. So
my favorite part about my favorite moment of the handmade lot this year was during the Black Hills Boogie, when Chris had put on some cool like disco funk
Oh,
music.
dude, that was-
and
that-
I looked up
everybody.
and everybody
Everybody
was
was just
was grooving. They
getting
were all
it.
dancing, and it just there was. And I think almost everybody was sober again.
yeah.
Like we were just everybody loved being there
That
so
was-
much. They loved the atmosphere that was created, and I can't wait to do it again. But I think maybe next year we need to have a full on disco.
Yeah, it was. Everybody was saying, "Oh, I'll do some heavy metal, change the music." And me and Renee were standing there, and I said to Renee, "Hey, how about some '70s funk?"
Yep.
And
It
they
was
pulled up
perfect.
70 funk, and it was like, as soon as it started, we did find out that there's a lot of people that can't dance, though. So.
Right?
But it was so much
good.
fun.
Nobody
Yes, it was.
cared.
No,
So
they didn't.
I expect you in your bell bottoms and your little wing collar
Oh, dude,
paisley
that would be
shirt.
so awesome
We
to
need
make
to have a
the
disco
70s.
next year.
Listen, next year we're already talking about possibly having a Pimp and Hoe party.
Oh, dude, that would be so awesome.
Right?
That's exactly what the
Yep.
70s chopper show should be.
Yes, Pimp and
Pimp
Hoe.
and Hoe.
Dude, that would be
And dude,
fantastic.
Big
Maybe-
Randy.
Why don't we do that in Daytona?
Big Randy's talking about doing an ice cream
cream
social.
Social, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Randy was making me mad because he kept going and getting ice cream, and I didn't have time. So just to let you know, Big Randy eats bunny tracks. Just to let you know, that was his
And that's
favorite.
Big
ice cream,
Randy
so.
from Cycle Showcase.
Oh my God,
Yep.
he is so awesome. What a great guy he is, and hopefully he's going to step in. He's going to become a part of this. all
He
too.
should. He should, man, because Randy's one of the best. He does crazy, crazy good shit. John Bug Killer Baker, Nugget was chill. Yeah, anytime that she could get away from Smalls long enough, because
Yeah, right.
Smalls was up her ass, man.
But you know what though? When Smalls isn't, she goes and finds him. Like when I went in the house a few minutes ago, they were curled up, like sleeping at the door together.
Yeah.
She was at one point. I have a few pictures on my phone, literally chewing on Nugget's face at one point.
And Nugget tolerates it. I'm
Yeah.
so shocked. But
Well,
I think they were.
I think Nugget's come to the conclusion that she better
He's not
watch
going
herself. He's going
anywhere.
to kick her ass
in
here
about
coming
10
real soon.
in about 10 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
that's
over.
right. The party's going to be over.
I do
Yeah.
have a feeling that they were the most photographed
Oh,
things in all of.
I said, you
Sturgis,
know what?
though.
Next year we're not bringing one bike. We're bringing 10 puppies.
Yep.
Right?
So
Yeah,
it's crazy.
a dollar for a 5-minute pet.
Yeah, like it's
No.
nuts. We had people coming up on stage and greasing gears and laying down
Oh,
with the dogs.
that's right.
We actually
Like
did
random
two
people.
segments. Did two segments where I couldn't step to my right,
Yep.
or I would have stepped on the dogs, which
Or
is
I-
great.
Yeah.
Or the people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or the person laying on the
All
stage.
right,
All right,
well,
so
listen.
everybody likes the pimp and hoe party.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right.
fantastic.
So it's the top of the hour. We need to go to our second guest of the evening. The second guest of the evening needs no introduction from me, Mr. Bob K. Bob K started back in the day with a little company called the New England Motorcycle Products Company, the initials of which spell out Nemco. Nemco eventually became Biker's Choice, which is, the giant company that it is today. Bob has done everything from hard bikes to events to motorcycle rights. He's been a really, really important part of this industry. And last year got a new thing started called the Golden Bolt. We're going to have him on here real quick and talk to him about this year's show.
Real quick, do you ever? I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Bob, how you doing, man? You're live on Shop Talk.
All right.
Dude, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for taking some time with us tonight.
Oh no, that's all right. This show coming up is getting to be pretty exciting.
Right? So how many hours away are we?
Couple weeks, I think. You know,
No,
I'm
I
running
think
out
it's like
to
a
LA
week,
next
Bob.
weekend.
It's a
So
week.
Yeah, it's a
it's
week.
a week away.
Yep.
You're running out of time, Bob.
Yeah, you're running.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think some of the builders we were talking to them, they're actually, some of them are leaving on Monday to start their journey west. So, because they have to be there Thursday. So you have less than a week, just so you know. Not that I'm like putting any pressure on you or anything, but less than a
No
week.
pressure there. No pressure there at all, Bob.
We have the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
issue.
Well,
We have the same
no,
issue.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, but that's it all the time. I was so glad you called tonight to remind me we were talking. You know, so.
So, Golden Bolt, give everybody the overview real quick so we can start talking about this. What is Golden Bolt for the people that don't know?
Okay, so Golden Bowl is a winner take all deal. 25 guys get invited. I actually think they have 26 this year. It's a 2-day show, but what's really unique is the way it's judged. Last year we had Chip Foose doing the styling, which we'd love to have him every year, but that probably ain't going to happen, you know. We have Miguel Galuzzi from Ducati doing the design, judging, and Mark Prosser doing the weld. So here's the thing, the trick thing about it. Nobody judges a whole bike. They only judge their third of the bike. And then you go back and tally up all the thirds. It's incredible. But you need to have people, high quality judges like that to do it.
Yeah.
So and then everything is totally transparent. Anybody wants to question anything, and I'm the chairman, so I designed this system. And then somebody has I'll show them how the things are voted, how they did. The judges are there to help them. Having Chip Foose last year talk to some of the guys on some key points, really, they just loved it. But here's okay. So that's the judging for the custom aspect. But to get judged and to be in contention for the $30,000 this year, you have to complete a 20-mile ride through downtown LA, split lanes in the middle of traffic. It's last year I think only 2 or 3 guys didn't make it out of 20, but everybody else did. And what a time we had! We were like, it was pretty cool. I had Heidi's Zoombrom on the back. I was riding this BMW, and she was taking pictures, and it was good. We had a really good time. So that's it. So you complete the ride, then you get to have your bike judged, and at that point, and then the winner takes off $30,000 this year. Wow. And this is all sponsored by the House of Machines. They're the main guys that put it on. Chris Richardson has his, and it will be at his place down in L.A. in the Arts District.
That will be awesome.
Yeah.
Chris,
so
Chris
cool
is
deal.
definitely one of our favorites.
Oh,
So last year's big winner was Max Hazan, right? We actually have his picture up now with the big check.
Yeah, just incredible. That bike was there was no question about it. And again, being so transparent, it's really cool. Everybody can really see. And that bike itself was incredible, but it didn't have much oil capacity or gas capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a half a pint, a high test in one pocket, and a half a pound of 30 weight in the other.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, he definitely like the skill level that cat brings is almost beyond reproach as far as like whether or not that was legit. Not saying anything else. I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah,
it's just all the stuff from that old Jap single cylinder. He improved the way that functioned. He had a band tensioner on the girder. One of those crazy bikes. You start looking at it and you just go, wow. Seems so obvious, but so clean and tight and done right,
No. So last year, how many builders? Last year, I
think there was 22 builders.
And what's that compared to this year's list?
This year, I think there's 26.
Right on.
Yeah. Kevin Dunworth kind of puts the whole thing together with the House of Machines, and he's got other sponsors. Bill Helmuth is usually there. They're a good bunch of guys, and BMW has some part of it along with the House of Machines. So It's a pretty neat deal. We have a dinner. We get a nice little thing for the builders. And it's a lot of fun, and not to mention LA, it gets a little crazy there. So
Yeah.
it's a good weekend.
Well,
So-
I was just looking at my schedule. I'm leaving Wednesday morning. So
There
you're
you
right.
go. Can I run down the list of builders
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
ahead.
I actually have it from their Facebook page,
Okay.
which is Golden Bolt. If anybody wants to check this out themselves. So the builders this year are Max Hazan, Xavier Muriel from Providence Cycle Works. Go Hov. Hugo, I'm gonna massacre the last names. Hugo, Rick Bray, Daryl Snyder, Brian Patera, Go Brian, Nikki Smart, Locke Baker, Colin Kornberg, Ava Wolf, Bustamante. That's a bitchin' name. Let's
Hang on,
see.
more to come.
Jake Drummond, David Bunch, Adam Sheard, Chris Moose, Oliver Jones, Nick Pensabene, Anthony Robinson, Dustin
Nick.
Knott, go Nick, Anthony Robinson, go Anthony, Dustin Knott, Michael LaFountain, Samuel Cow. There's more. That's 20. Wait a minute. Let me get it.
6 more. Come on.
And William Gately, Ryan McQuiston,
Go
go
Ryan.
Ryan.
Right on.
That's awesome. Oh, what are you bringing, Ryan? I need a sneak peek. Jordan Dickinson,
Get it,
Aaron
Jordan.
Guardo,
Go, Jordan.
David Morales, Bryce Schmidt, and Ricky Bongo. So there's 27 on that list.
And congratulations to each and every one of you guys,
Right.
even though we've publicly picked our favorites in a
Sorry.
shameless manner, like we shouldn't do as journalists. But
You'll have that.
Ah,
Yeah, but those guys are they're just the top guys, top shelf,
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah,
on the other side too, we got a lot of those guys are coming back east for Cherokee. Just
Right.
a week later, 2 weeks
Yeah.
later, I don't know. You tell me, but to have this level of these builders out there and getting together for these shows is it's really kind of leading the way. It's really nice to see it. I mean, we do all have Lichter's show. And you put on some great shows at all the different rallies and stuff, but it's so hard to get all these guys, all this talent together at one time.
yeah. Well, and it's important too, man. I mean, just like we kind of run neck and neck with some of the same standards. The Golden Bolt and the thing that we do called the In Motion show
Yeah.
during the Galveston, the Lone Star Rally. But
Yeah.
it's important that we start setting some of this, setting principles
Yeah.
and guidelines down for. Yeah, I want to see the baddest custom bikes that there are, but I also want to see people riding them and having fun and doing.
In all
stuff
reality,
with
if
them,
you can't ride them, they're works of art, and they're all works of art. Even if you can ride them, but the In Motion that is such a trip to watch these guys get on these bikes and ride
Yeah.
them. I mean,
right.
I wish we were going to be there to see,
I
see
wish
these
we could
guys
go to
splitting
Golden-
lanes.
I could grab a plane ticket and
Yeah.
hop
yeah,
out there.
that'd be
No.
nice if we
No.
all
yeah,
could.
man, that'd be great. You stay there, Chris. We'll take good care.
Yeah, Bob's helping me
Yeah,
out.
okay, there you go, Bob.
No, but like you said, In Motion, we're going into our third year of that.
Yep.
And same thing, Shakedown Ride. Although this year I'm totally switching up the Shakedown Ride. They're going to have multiple checkpoints
And maps.
and
Yeah.
maps. And
To
it's
watch
gonna
these
be,
guys is awesome.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a short, quick trip around the town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they don't make it and they don't hit all their checkpoints,
And that's
they're
important
out.
because if you don't have somebody watching them, there could be issues. Like I give old Steve Pepper all the credit in the world. At one point, he got lost and came back to the lot. And when he got off his bike and walked up to me, he was literally smoking.
Dude,
Like, it was off the
That was the
charts.
best thing. I tell people that story still. I said, there we are at the checkpoint, and here comes a cloud of smoke rolling, and
Oh, my
it sounds
God.
like a motorcycle. The wind blew when the motorcycle stopped, and the smoke went away, and it was Pepper on
It
a
was Steve
knucklehead.
Pepper, and he walked away, and he was smoking as bad as the bike. So it was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, but what a great concept for them to run these things. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
man.
there's the
and
judgment
especially,
factor.
dude, like, can you imagine LA? Like,
Yep.
mad credit for you guys doing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like, put it out there because
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Chopper's.
telling you,
That's
man,
one of Chopper's birthplaces. Get out and do it.
It's not there was some guys, but you know what's cool? Some guys they would have a bad plug or something went
Yeah.
wrong with lost the wire or something. These guys, sure it'd be cool to be the first one back and complete it, but they were more important to pull over, help the guy
Help
get
them
him
out.
going again and stuff like that. I just love that camaraderie. You know that,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what drives me like crazy.
And it's
just
funny how much
so
there
good
is
to
in
see
there.
that.
Yep.
Like, all these guys are friends. It's like like I said, even the lot that we have, the handmade lot, like everybody helps everybody. It's always been that way. That's something about this industry that's like amazing.
Well, we got to remind people of that too, and that's what shows like Golden Bolt will do,
Yep.
man. And we wanted to make sure we give you some credit for that.
Well, that's really cool. That's been kind of Kevin and the House of Machines deal. Like I said, I helped them put together this judging thing, trying to figure out something. I wish we could do all the shows like that, but
Right.
just
Yep.
you got to be able to get the judges talent too that really
Right.
knows their stuff. It was, it was so. I'll tell you one little thing, like Jordan Dickinson and the level he does his stuff.
Right.
And so he was there last year, and he was running. He was one of the top guys. Him, probably Tim Dixon and Max were in the top three. And Foose goes over and checks out the side of the tank, and there was a piece of the tank that just wasn't rubbed out all the way. So he told me about that, and I said, well, I got to at least share that with Jordan, So,
Yeah.
And Jordan knew about it. But
Yeah.
that's what was so cool. I would have never seen that on my own, So having that quality of judge doing that
Right.
type of thing,
Yep.
it's pretty cool stuff.
So listen, while we have you here for a second, also because you mentioned it, some of the guys coming right off of Golden Bolt are going to go straight to Cherokee. And for people who aren't aware of what we're talking about, let's move on to that while I bring up the website. The Cherokee Blue Ridge run that we've been doing together for a couple years now. But you're bringing a lot of these guys in there for the bikes that they're building too in a big show.
Yeah, that Cherokee run real quick was an old party show like Old Laconia and stuff like that. And they stopped it for a couple years. And you and I have been helping Mark Cresswell bring it back. Well, this is the third year we're going to have an AMD championship. So the winner here, it's not quite as big as the Golden Bolt, but we put up $10,000 in expense money to send the winner to Germany to compete in part of Team USA in the World Championship.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens every couple of years. So it's pretty prestigious, but it's been getting that word out. Well, this year we got the top guys coming. I mean, I think I got 35 guys, and this is just for the AMD class. We have a couple other classes and stuff, but I'll run down this real quick. I can't. It's like Paul Shadley. He had the Easy Rider Bike of the Year. Josh Sheehan, Carl Purser, Joe Marshall, Mark Shadley, Freddie Arnold. Xavier's coming back. Now Xavier's doing both. Johnny Mack, Chris Garrison, Crossover, Moto Gypsy. Mike and Ricky Lewis are going to do two bikes.
That's so cool.
Tim Furstenberger, he won a show down in Florida that what's his name? Reverend Jim put on, and that magazine down there, and they paid for his expenses to come up. Behind Buteris, he's another one doing both.
Right on.
Ray Lanes, Hank Thibodeau, Jack DeGazio, and Freddie Arnold. They're going to go head on head with Diggers. Freddie didn't bring his Sturgis, and Jack did, so he's going to debut it down there. So there's good stuff. Matt Olson's bringing some neat stuff.
No kidding.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they got a trip down there.
That's
Oh,
cool.
we need to
Nicky
get
Roy.
Matt on Grease and Gears.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's some really good people, and a couple other people I'm waiting to hear from. Devin Eckert just called in today, and a couple other guys. So, again, it's going to be this. What it's really all about is celebrating the talent that these guys have.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
and the Cherokee rally is the Cherokee Blue Ridge run is a real hidden gem too. I mean, you got so much stuff going on. We're doing Grease and Gears Garage. We're doing a chopper show.
Yeah.
Pirwitz does a paint show. The AMCA is getting involved this year. There's flat track racing again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I hope a lot of
It's-
these guys are bringing two bikes because I heard talk of we might sneak them out for a ride on
ride,
Sunday.
yeah, I think
'Cause,
we're
like,
gonna.
they're
I
riding
asked
out there.
everybody. All these guys I mentioned on the phone, I've talked to them personally on the phone, and I told them all, I said, if you want to bring out another bike for a different class,
Yeah.
they can only put one bike in the AMD class. I said, you can enter different classes, but make sure you bring a bike to ride.
Yeah.
We're talking 50 miles of Maggie Valley, plus the whole Blue Ridge.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
It's an
yeah.
amazing place to ride.
Well, and that's what
Yeah.
for any of the builders that are coming. If you have a chance to bring an extra bike, we're planning on getting up kind of early on Sunday, and we're gonna rip through the hills there, man. And I'm gonna have Heather on the back of the bike taking pictures. So we want to get some pictures of you guys actually riding in the Blue Ridge. So come out with us on
Which
Sunday.
chopper are we taking?
All of them.
I don't know. We might maybe that'll be the break in for Bone Daddy.
Oh boy. Maybe not.
Okay.
Let's not break in Bone Daddy in the Blue Ridge Parkway, just in case.
Sissy.
No, I want to go for a ride.
All right, man. Well,
I
listen.
ran my 12-hour sprinter down the Blue Ridge one year.
Oh,
man. It
I
was
have
just-
nothing. I'm a
You're
chopper
working
stick at
it,
heart.
you know.
Yep.
You're you're working it. If you're trying to keep up with the guys with the shorter front ends, you know.
Well, I guess it's no different than riding through West Virginia. So
Well, just
bring it.
that, I must make the Sportster run again.
Yep.
It's only been, what, 8-9 years?
So, Bob, are you guys doing any live broadcasting from the Golden Bolt? Where can people see that stuff so they can keep up with it? I kind of put you on the spot, didn't I?
Yeah, I really don't know. Kevin handles all that, and I know he's got some stuff going on there, and because they do have a dinner and they have some private stuff that they're doing, but I honestly don't know.
There's there's a link. That's all right. There's a link to the website in the comment section, so people can follow there. It's also you can find it on Facebook at Golden Bolt. So everything will come up and be right at your fingertips. I suggest everybody follow it to see see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Oh, and if you're in LA, come on down. The House of Machines there is really cool. It's like your living room with a bar and a shop on one side and bar on the other side. It's just a great place to hang out.
Right on, man.
And I think that's the place that has my favorite wall sign ever. It
Don't
simply
be a
says,
dick.
"Yep."
Don't be a dick.
That's everybody's favorite sign.
Yep.
It really is cool, though. It just puts it all
It
right
just
there,
says so much.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, thanks for taking some time with us. We wish you all the best on this show and definitely in Cherokee. We can't wait to see you in Cherokee.
Yeah.
We're actually going to get you to come on. We'll be doing an episode of Shop Talk Live from Cherokee again. And it's always a blast to have you around, and we're gonna talk some big shit
Maybe
on
we
the
can just
politics.
do a panel for that one because there's all those buildings are going to be there.
You know who else is coming in there is Gloria Struck.
Oh, right
awesome.
on.
Right on.
Oh, we have
So
to
we're
have
gonna
Miss
get her
Gloria.
on, your broadcast too.
Absolutely.
Oh, and maybe
Absolutely.
Pete Hill if he comes back. I'd love to have Pete and Jackie on.
Yeah, I'd love to have
He's
Jackie
got
on.
great stories, man.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Have you
There's
read-
some good people coming around?
Have you read the book yet? Have you read?
No.
Jackie wrote a book about Pete, and it just came out last year.
Yeah.
And we've got to get that out to the people. So
Yep.
we'll start sharing that. But it's great. She's got some phenomenal stories.
Dude, just
We just talked with him last year. The little bit we had a chance to. The stories were incredible.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
That's God, that's what it's all about. I was just down. I mean, I don't know if you got a second here. I was down with Sugar Bear at coming out of Sturgis, and what he's trying to do over there is just get people to share these stories.
yeah.
Because guys like Pete Hill and Sugar Bear, those guys, they got some things that'll just keep you on the edge of your seat all night long.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually got to stop up and see Sugar Bear when we were in Sturgis too. The cool thing he got going on up there. So me and Bill Dodge ran over there, and it was it's a nice little place he has. It's definitely worth taking the ride up and seeing. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Well, thanks again, Chris, for
No,
including
no
me in
problem,
that.
dude. No problem.
So I'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, man. We'll see you. We'll see you in the Blue Ridge.
Take it
All
easy,
right, man,
Bob.
take it easy.
All
Good
right.
night.
Later on, buddy. I don't know. He's another one. Like when people tell me how hard I work, I point to guys like Michael Lichter and Bob Kay. Like,
Oh yeah, just
Well-
never slow down.
right.
The question I was going to ask when you were getting him on the line is, you were going down some of his history, like Nemco and the things that Bob's done. Do you ever stop and say, how do I even get these guys to talk to me? Like, they're legends. Like Mondo.
Oh, I know.
When
dude.
Mondo, gives you that invite or those accolades, or
Yep.
you get to have Bob Kay or Sugar Bear, or, Ron
That's
Pop.
why I feel like I can never do enough work in a
Yeah.
day, because I'm in the back of my mind, and I know Mark feels this way.
yeah.
We're lucky to be here, like
Yep.
from where we come from, and
Oh, yeah.
these guys were our heroes forever.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So to be able to sit at the table with them, much less be considered, a peer or a colleague, like
or a friend.
that's
It's humbling,
I,
right?
I owe,
It is.
I owe everything to this.
And I have to say one of my this Sturgis trip, one of my favorite parts of it was at the Lichter event on the bike with Mondo there,
Oh.
walking around it and telling us what an amazing job we did. Like and you're the
Did
whole
you get
time.
goosebumps?
Yeah, it's like the
Because
whole
it's
time.
Mondo.
Yeah,
Dude,
the whole time you're
I
talking
wanted
to
to
him.
fangirl.
I sent pictures back to friends, like, and I never send pictures back to
Yeah.
anybody. You know,
You have friends?
I do. I have one.
does.
He doesn't really talk
He's
to me that
sitting
much
next to
anymore.
you, though. Like,
I don't
you
know, he
send
has,
his
like him.
he has
pictures.
another one.
I don't even like
He has
this guy
another
How
over
much
here.
do you pay him?
Well, $2. But it's like such an honor to be around these people, and then for them to tell you how awesome this is, or point stuff
Yeah.
out on the bike
Oh.
that you've done. It's like, wow. And then for him to invite us to an event, kind of, it was
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
pretty off the
"Oh."
charts. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes all the hard work almost, worth it for the
So
for the
and
minute.
that's
And then you go
kinda-
back to work.
That's kind of the official launch of that, is the fact that Mondo very kindly invited Mark and I to come with Flat Broke Bikes to his bike show during the Reno Street Vibrations.
Yeah, which is huge.
So we're going. We're packing up Reno. We're gonna see you soon.
Oh boy.
Which I don't know how we're getting
Yeah,
all
I
this.
still quite haven't figured out how we're doing that.
Yeah.
So
We need that.
You know what we need?
We
A
need that
plane.
multiplicity. No, we need that multiplicity.
oh yeah,
Right?
multiplicity.
Although
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
know if
what?
any of y'all could get any
She
taller.
touched my peppy, Steve.
She says we don't fix anything.
I like pizza.
See, the problem is my third guy. Like, it took Michael Keaton 3 guys before one of them was goofy.
Yeah.
You're like all of them.
Yeah,
all in
I'm
one.
just
You're
saying, like,
screwed.
first guy that comes out with me is going to be the goofy
Hey,
one.
well, I had said that we need a plane as long as we don't get the one Dale Earnhardt Jr. was
Oh,
just in.
man.
By
How
the way,
about
speaking,
it,
like,
dude?
how about a close call for that guy?
You got to send some
Family.
And they
prayers
all
out
walked
there.
away, right?
All of them,
That's
their
incredible.
1-year-old daughter, both pilots, and their dog. What an amazing situation that was. You have to almost question how fragile life really is.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
again,
buddy.
we don't take advantage of any of it, or a lot of people take
Well,
advantage of it. And
Not only does it make you question how fragile life it is, but for me, I think that would make me say, "What's my purpose?"
Right.
Like there
Yeah.
is a purpose that
There
myself and my family were spared.
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
yeah, right. What's next?
Okay, what's next
All right, that was
in
deep.
this case is we got some Sturgis memories to share with you guys. We're going to run through this real quick, and then we're going to come back and wrap up the news. We're going to let you go for another week, so we'll be back right after we do some quick business for the show.
I got the cock-doodle devil in my left hand. I got the fire in my right hand. In my teeth, I got the kick for the mother man. I eat the soul with a spoon in a starved land. I've been a wild, all down with dirt, a brain a washed. In my soul, hearse up in gas. With the new air up in gas. With the new air.
Pro tip.
Nobody,
Jamie Cycles.
Nobody-
Always have air in your tires.
no one told me that. I didn't know.
I put fresh air in there.
I should read counter, Steve.
Yeah.
Off a snake in a fist fight, and there ain't nothing that I done have felt so right. I've been snowballed into a romance. I flipped my hat and then I told my pants. I've been a wall, all down with dirt, brain a wall. In my soul, hearse up in gas, with the new air up in gas, with the new air. I got the dagger, the jagger, put to we. I got Alaska to be that snowy. I've been a while, all down with dirt, a brain a while. In my soul, a hearse up in gas. With the new air up in gas. With the new air.
Now, Heather, you actually have some commentary to go along with this one, right?
So this video is from our friends at Fueling Parts, which Luke Leatherman came up and sat with us on Grease and Gears Garage during during Sturgis. And what a great guy. He was so gracious and funny as all get out.
Yep.
I think for some copyright infringement due to music we had in the background, we did have to remove those videos, unfortunately. But anyway, this is a little fun video that Fueling put up, just showing off their Fueling 543 regular Reaper camshafts. That particular motorcycle from Reckless 203 is the Fueling W3. It's 150 cubic inch, 3-cylinder, 175 horsepowers with 185 torque.
Getting it.
Getting
Yeah,
it.
there's
Like
some-
just straight up getting it, having a good time. But again, Luke and the guys over at Fueling are really, really great to us. So we thought we'd share that little video.
So, couple things to get through real quick here before we let you guys go for the night and bring this one into the station. Coming up in short order, we're all going to be back in Daytona for chopper time.
The only reason to go to
Absolutely.
Daytona, or the most important
The
reason.
most important
Most
reason.
important reason.
That's first on the list. Also, we were talking about earlier the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival.
Super stoked for that.
Yep, including the Bill Dodge BC Moto Invitational. Tom Kiefer got us hooked up with this deal, but York, what is it actually called? Let me say the right thing. York
Full-
Bike Week.
yes,
Full
York Bike
throttle
Week.
York Bike Week.
Wednesday, September 18th through Saturday, September 21st in York, PA.
That's how I was gonna say. That's in York, PA.
Yep. And tons of great
yahoos
music
will be
going
there.
on. We're going out with the flat broke trailer. I was going to say the full throttle trailer. Yeah, Sturgis continues to kick my ass.
Well, it says full throttle on the
I
screen.
know.
Cut yourself a little bit of slack.
I might be able to get Kenny to come to that.
Oh,
You
dude.
know, Renee will let him go. It's in York, PA. So
this was one neat thing we wanted to get to in the news tonight. Just to go back how we were talking about how the difference between the public perception of motorcycles, back when the movie Easy Riders was made and today. I mean, here's a story in from Reader's Digest, 17 vintage motorcycles you'll want to ride today. And, there's a bunch of different stuff here, great old pictures and captions and stuff, but the fact that Reader's Digest
is talking about motorcycling.
I mean,
look
and
at the
there's-
pictures.
right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what a difference.
So
I was saying today earlier, I was watching a show on TV, and every person on the show on TV, it was a house flipping thing. Every person on show on TV was covered with tattoos. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, wow, what a difference compared to 10 years ago.
There's no stigma associated with
it's-
those two
it's
things
nuts.
anymore.
And this is just really setting it in stone.
Rich
Self-expression.
Petoniak just asked, when is the next event that's having dirt drag? So check this out. One of the things we're talking about with the guys from Steel Pony about adding to the Steel Pony campground next year is dirt drags. Like they're going to build possibly
doing
a
an
cool little
awful
track
lot
for
for
us.
us next
yeah,
year.
Yeah. So you
on
want to
the
keep it.
down low. Yeah. Mark, you're not going to trust me. Like
You're not.
when we left there
I
on
need a
Thursday,
witness.
you are so not going to want to miss Sturgis next year.
Yep.
Like the
I'll come
things,
I'm coming. I'm not going to do anything with you guys.
the things that they've agreed to do and to allow us to do,
Yeah.
like is just it's incredible.
It's gonna
Again,
be
the guys at
awesome.
the Iron Horse and Steel Pony, outstanding.
And again, we came home with a flathead V8. So
Oh, look at that. Eric Miner said, don't forget Chris and Heather. We still have that 41 to dig into. So Eric is a friend of ours from back in the day, and his family has a 41 Harley Davidson that needs restored. And I told him that if they paid for all the parts and all the process and everything, so anything the bike needed, if they paid for it, we would take, it will take some time, but we'll do it a step at a time. We'll do a proper restoration to it. So it looks like maybe he's ready to get going on that. Be a good winter project for Flatboat.
We need another winter project, obviously. You know.
Yeah, right.
I was just questioning what we were going to do all winter long.
Chris Heather Landmine for life. So a lot of people are calling the new puppy Landmine.
Oh, boy.
My god. He is the greatest but laziest puppy ever. He'll walk a few feet and just lay down. And it's really funny because they share a leash now. They have like the leash with the two little tethers on it, and Nugget just drags him across the lawn.
He'll lay down and she drags him.
Yeah.
Mike York goes in, says, great show, guys. Just came back from Bonneville, super slushy. So
Oh,
if there was
see,
a
I
year
told
we
you
were going to
there's a
have to
reason.
bail, this might have been it. But I'm still not glad that I'm not there. I am
No.
glad that we were able to be here this week. And,
Yes.
here is made possible through the good people at Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. We're coming to you live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another episode of Shop Talk from the Russ Brown Studios. Can't thank you guys enough for letting us into your headspace once a week.
I want to know how they feel about something.
Go ahead.
We've been talking about, we want to open the show up to call-ins.
Yeah,
Any
what
of
do
you
you
guys want to
think?
call in and talk to us? Not this week.
No, we're
but would you
thinking
guys be
we're
down
thinking
for
next
that?
week or maybe the week after we can have a call-in show. Would you guys be down if we like flashed a number on the screen and we could just maybe take a half hour or 45 minutes and just like hurry up and go through callers and talk to you, bring you on the show with us?
That, and I might. I might.
You got crickets over
I
here.
got crickets. Thanks, guys. Well, now you can't call us. So
You might want to block the name on your number. So,
Oh, we got that Google caller.
yeah.
one of those.
So they
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
actually like. I'm not giving out my number.
All right, man. Well,
No,
listen.
I meant their name.
It's
Oh.
been a blast. You can help us bring Shop Talk to more people. We already go out through 7 different social media channels. It's on several different Facebook pages. Thanks to the people from, J&P and Drag Specialties and Chop Cult and the Buffalo Chip and, all you guys that are sharing it. You can share it. You can host the watch parties. You can catch us on Twitch TV. You can also catch it after the fact. If you go to motoshoptalk.com, you can catch the podcast if you just want to listen to it while you're supposed to be working. And as long as you guys keep watching / and or listening.
Are there really 7 different social media channels?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Wow.
I know.
We're
I
in big
know.
trouble now.
I'm screwed.
Shop-
Anyway.
Lucky I'm just a guest.
Shop Robert. All right, man. Well, listen. Once again, I want to thank you guys. And until next week, same chopper time
Same chopper channel.
with another episode of Shop Talk. See you.
Boy.